hard to believe how much has changed and how much we have accomplished since that very dark day of October 7th. In the face of heartbreak, fear, and uncertainty, something remarkable happened. The Jewish National Fund family, this family, we rose to meet the occasion. We rose to meet the moment with strength, with unity, and with love. But now I want to ask each of you, we've been through the hard times. Are you ready to stand just as tall when we go into the good times? Today, I'll take that as a yes. Our hostages are home. We have a ceasefire in place, God willing. And we as the leaders, we must look to the future. Israel's future is being written now. It's being written in the Galilee, in the Negev, in the classrooms at the Muz High School in Israel. It's being written in the fields and in the hearts of those rebuilding their lives. Jewish National Fund USA will play a part in shaping the future where every Israeli citizen can enjoy a safe, and a great quality of life.
Our voices are heard every day and have continued to be heard even through the most difficult of days. As we emerge from this conference, I'm reminded that our Jewish tradition compels us to take action, always take action, even in moments of darkness and uncertainty. We are commanded to not stand idly by, and we know that Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh LaZeh, all of Israel is responsible for one another.
Good afternoon, fellow Zionists. I have the distinct privilege of being a part of Jewish National Fund USA's work in the north of Israel. Israel's north has historically been a place of stunning natural beauty, rich history, diverse communities, amazing foods, you'll see that soon, and traditions. Its fertile agriculture is even known in the Torah. And yet this area has actually been underappreciated, underserved, and underdeveloped. And that's exactly where Jewish National Fund USA comes in. In this session, our speakers and partners will take us through the extraordinary journey JNF-USA is helping make possible in the North. It's a journey that's attracting 300,000 residents to the North by expanding existing communities and building new ones to ease Israel's housing crisis and help families find their place in the North. So, if you build it, exactly. JNF-USA is expanding the Galilee's economy and infrastructure to make this region at least as exciting as Israel's center. The Margalit Startup City is attracting the entrepreneurs. A new state-of-the-art medical center is being built in Kiryat Shmona, and that's going to provide world-class health care to the residents of the region. You heard this morning from Noah Zer that the Adam Va'adama program is bringing high school students, the very finest, to the North and the South, and these are the future leaders of the next generation. So yes, JNF is building. It's building housing, tech ecosystems, schools, and hospitals. And yet, amazingly, the sum is still so much greater than the parts, because together it's creating an ecosystem which will sustain the region for generations. And that is exactly where the Galilee Culinary Institute, or GCI as we call it, comes in. To help bring this story to life, we are going to be joined with several of our partners from the region.
I come to you from the Upper Galilee, carrying with me the voices and the deep gratitude of our residents. During the war, I was the chair of Kibbutz Kfar Sod. Kibbutz Kfar Sod located 5 kilometers from Lebanese border. So we were not evacuated. It became the first civilian fault line. Under fires and drone, we built an alternative school, keep our factory running, and our farmers went out every morning to work the land that we love so dearly. But my heart was heavy. How do we rebuild the Galilee I love so dearly? I knew that we needed a new mindset, a spirit of partnership and collaboration, partnership between municipalities, partnership between communities, and partnership between organizations in Israel and around the world. For the first time in 50 years, we opened a new high school as a cooperation between 3 municipalities. By lead Hashomer HaChadash, we opened an agricultural high school in Kibbutz Iron, 1 kilometer from Lebanon borders. And with Kriyat Shmona, we opened a unique kindergarten, which became next year an elementary school. All this helped us to attract new families. But we have still much work ahead. And you at the JNF have always been with us. 2 of your main projects are nearly completed. First, the GCI, the Galilee Culinary Institute. And second, the new medical center in Kriyat Shmona, a vital project for our daily life. It's a vital project for our daily life.
We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. One seed in the ground is enough to grow a garden. Put in work and watch, it'll turn into a forest. Our roots in the land give us a home, a haven. Circles of light that bring us all together. It's like painting a never-ending picture, not in black and white, in neon blazing colors. It's like driving on a never-ending road. The more you hit the gas, the more you gotta go. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. We can play it safe, or we can lead the way. Yeah, we can lead the way today. Yeah, we can lead the way today. We can lead the way. 2 cents in a jar is enough to change a million. We have our cars, a world that we believe in. One hand reaching out to help the ones who need it. Yeah, arms open now, touch the sky, there's no limit, no limit. Hey, it's like painting a never-ending picture, not in black and white, in neon blazing colors. It's like driving on a never-ending road. The more you hit the gas, the more you gotta go. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. We can play it safe, or we can lead the way. Yeah, we can lead the way. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. Nothing's in
National Fund USA has always been there with a strategic vision for a stronger, more resilient Israel and Zionist engagement. Now, more than ever, this vision is crucial. Every donation, every commitment makes a difference. We need your help to make our circles of impact wider and wider. Stand with us, support us, and together we will continue to build a brighter future for the land and people of Israel.
שהייתה פתוחה לפני המלחמה 7 שנים, העסק התחיל להתייצב, כמות של עובדים גדולה, ואז בעצם הגיעה המלחמה.
האזור פה היה אזור קרב.
הכל עצר, ממש הכל עצר. פשוט מ-100 ל-0 בשנייה אחת.
בעסק שפשוט קורס.
נזק של מאות אלפי שקלים.
סגרנו. עבור החברים עם הצרכים המיוחדים, אם לנו זה היה קשה, להם זה היה הרבה יותר קשה.
ואז נכנסו זמן גליל מערבי. וה-JNF כמובן.
הם קנו מארזים שנתרמו למשפחות מפונות, משפחות של מילואימניקים.
העמותה הזמינה מאיתנו כ-20,000 מארזים. JNF-USA היו אחראים להרבה מאוד מההזמנות של המארזים בעצם שקיבלנו.
זאת הייתה עזרה מאוד משמעותית להמשיך להניע את הגלגלים של העסק.
אני רוצה להודות לכם על כל הדברים האלה שאתם עושים, שבעצם גורמים לנו, העסקים המקומיים, הקטנים, לשרוד.
The Jewish National Fund understands that small businesses are the backbone of the economy in northern and southern Israel. And we came to action and we started providing support boxes and send tens of thousands of these boxes to soldiers, to people in hospital. So not only did you do a mitzvah, but we also created an opportunity to keep small businesses alive. And as tourism is coming back, and you're driving up to the north or driving to the south, you can visit the hundreds of small businesses that are still in business because of Jewish National Fund USA.
Thank you, Western Galilee Now and JNF-USA for supporting us.
The war began on October 7th, changed our lives forever. Friends that were taken hostage and the murder of their family while we were not evacuated in the north. Because we were 4.2 kilometers away from the border and not 4, our region became a ghost town. With Hezbollah firing daily rockets at us, life was anything but normal. I will never forget October 7, 2024, a year into the war when Hezbollah launched a large number of missiles. I was in the field with my 5-year-old daughter with no shelter. I could only pull her into our car and lay her over her using my body as a shield. The trauma of that moment, it's something no parent should ever have to endure. Through it all, we never stopped working, but we were scared. I needed a bomb shelter to protect my team, but the Ministry of Agriculture and Defense had other priorities. My regional council was busy. To them, I was just a small farmer. Who would care? The answer is no surprise. Jewish National Fund. And so, when no one else would help, you delivered a bomb shelter. That shelter wasn't just concrete and steel. It was a message that we were not alone. It gave my team the courage to keep showing up, and our farm became an anchor in a region that felt as though it was on life support.
At Jewish National Fund USA, we say again and again that we're about vision and not just projects. And our vision for the North is as ambitious as anything we've ever done, to transform Israel's North into a true destination while ensuring we hold on to the region's magic. But this isn't just a landscape, it's a crossroads of history, a place where 82 different cultures have laid down roots, 82 nationalities. Each one brings a spice, a recipe, a memory to the table. That isn't just diversity, it's pure gastronomic alchemy. What is GCI all about to you?
So I'll tell you this, some of you know this. In 1997, I sat in the kitchen at my parents' house and told them that I wanted to become a cook. My mom started crying. She turned to my dad and she says, Moshe, can you please talk to your son? You know, cooking was a thing you did if you failed in life. I think we are now at a point in life where food is important. It's important for many reasons. It's important because we have to feed people. There's crises, the things. We got to learn what's the next generation is going to look like, from agriculture, from chefs, from food manufacturers. Where are we heading with all of this? So I think that was important. It's important also to make the connection between the land and the food that we eat. And we want to give, people, and I'm not saying the word young people, because so far as we started interviewing people, it goes from 20 to 65, including a woman who begged me to take her husband, who's retiring, for a year to the Galilee, just so he doesn't stay home. So there's room for everybody. That's what I want to say. And so we see an educational challenge, first of all. Connected with the culinary, there's great opportunities. So you want to be a cook, be my guest. It's hard. You want to be a pastry chef, we got you too. What about food photography? What about styling? What about food manufacturing? What about food sustainability? So all of these and more, this is the reason why we put together GCI. So I think our mission of joining the journey of rebuilding the region, rebuilding the Galilee, like was said here earlier, everything is there. We just got to show it to the world.
This man's vision is incredible. When you get out, when you come to see the GCI and you see what we've built, Lior's vision, the detail that he is so tied into is incredible. And I'm on calls with him, and he is into the minute details of how he wants this to look, and he's not bending for anything. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And I cannot wait till we get this open. You're going to be so impressed, and it's going to be unbelievable. Awesome.
These beautiful regions were and always will be our beloved home.
This is where we chose to raise our children and build a promising future for our families and for generations to come.
Our hearts are tied to this land.
This is where our future goes.
It was never an easy journey. For the last 20 years, we've been the shield and armor of Israel, absorbing the blows, protecting our families and communities, but always hoping for a peaceful future.
For so many years, we've needed someone who makes us feel strong and that we are not alone.
Someone we can count on.
Someone who shares our passion for this land.
Someone who understands that this place is the backbone and the future of Israel.
Jewish National Fund USA has always been that someone.
For decades, you launched countless projects to transform our communities into the best places to live in Israel.
With the greatest educational programs in the country.
State-of-the-art medical facilities.
New housing initiatives that bring more families to our community.
Together, we turn this region into a wonderful place to live in. With endless possibilities and a bright future.
Until that day.
In the aftermath of the massacre and tragedy of October 7th and the endless challenges faced by the people of Israel, Jewish National Fund USA's answer is loud and clear. We say with one voice, we believe in tomorrow.
I believe in the strength of this community.
I believe in our people's resilience and spirit.
I believe that Israel is still and always will be the greatest place for us to live in.
I believe in the eternal bond of Jewish people from all over the world.
I believe we'll all continue our journey of growth in this beautiful country of ours.
For more than 120 years, Jewish National Fund USA has a strong vision, strategic planning, and a history of results and trust. We repurchased the land, developed its soil, the soul of our Jewish people. Today, we continue to think of tomorrow through bold initiatives. Step by step, together with 600,000 caring contributors, we're transforming the North and South into the most magnificent areas in all of Israel. Now, more than ever, we need your philanthropic investment to continue our vital work. Stand with us and support our beloved people of Israel as we rebuild and make Israel stronger than ever before.
We believe in tomorrow.
At October 7 at 6:29, we woke up to rockets and alarms. And first call, it was to Omer. And then we understand that Omer is in the Nova Festival at Re'im. From that point, we called Omer a few times, and he was panic. He was running away. Last call was at 8:45. And he was very panicked. He said that one friend came to take him, to take them, and he will call me back later. So I asked him to send me live location. He sent the live location, and the phone stopped. And from that point, we saw on the screen of the phone that the point is moving like 3 minutes, stopping, and then going to the border. We tried to call Omer, but the phone was ringing and Omer didn't answer, and we saw that the point is getting into Gaza. From that point, we didn't know what to do. Nobody was answering. Malki went to the hospital in Soroka, tried to find Omer, but we didn't get nothing. I was calling everybody to start to find Omer, and nothing. We didn't knew where is Omer. And then at 8 p.m., one of his friends called me and said, he was shaking in his voice, and he said, Shelly, I'm sorry, I need to send you a video that Hamas was posted in Telegram, and Omer is in the video. And for me, I was falling apart, and to see my Omer in a pickup truck with handcuffed in his hands and with a terrorist. So from that point, we started I posted a post in Instagram and Facebook, and I said that my Omer is an hostage, and if there is other families that are in the same situation, that they call us. October 8, hundreds of people were calling us, and we did a list of name of the hostage, from where he was kidnapped, and who is the family member who called us. And it was like 400 names until 5 p.m. at October 8. And we have a meeting in our house with all the people who was involved in Gilad Shalit's situation that help us to understand what we need to do. And from that point, the forum of the family of the hostages started.
Before October 7, a few months before, Tali, she's the chief Israeli staff of JNF in Israel, they took us to a trip to see the Negev, to see the way how JNF supporting and developing the country. We were amazed from all the amazing projects. And we went also to the border, and we were standing in front of this huge wall. And think about it, that months after, Omer was behind this border. Few days after October 7, again, Tali called me, and she came with Russell to our headquarters in Tel Aviv, and to the forum and to the square, and immediately they stood with us, with the families, supporting us and the families in the most horrible time, and help us to raise the voices of the hostages and advocacy and create this awareness all over the world. And I would like to call Russell, please come to the stage. This book, it's from a very famous photographer, Ziv Koren. It's about the war, the 7 October War, and it's really showing tragedy, but it's also showing resilience and hope. So thank you very much for supporting us.
I love you too. I can really stand here and say that God gave me a present, and this present are my parents right here. Usually, when I'm on stage, I'm telling my story. Today, I'm not telling my story. But every time I do tell my story, I start off with a sentence, and I say, "My name is Omer Shem Tov, and I'm a free man." On October 7th, I was kidnapped with 3 of my friends, and for 505 days, I was held as an hostage in Gaza by Hamas, a cruel, a brutal terror organization. For 505 days, I was starved, I was in tunnels, in darkness, loneliness. For 505 days, I was in living hell. After 505 days, from complete darkness, I came out to this amazing, amazing beam of light. To you guys. You guys are the beam of light. I can truly say that while I was in the tunnels, in the darkest moments for me there, I could feel the light. I could feel the prayers. I could feel this energy that you guys sent. I could feel it 120 feet under the ground in complete darkness. So thank you for that. Thank you everyone for sending this amazing light to me and helping my parents just fight for me and for the other hostages. I want to say thank you to JNF that on the first moment that I came out, really on the first few days, my dad told me about JNF and what you guys are doing. You guys are doing an amazing job. You do not understand what you guys are doing for us, for Israelis. We can feel the love and the support, and we can see what you guys are doing. And for that, I thank you. Thank you so much.
To you now, if I may, and a slight change of pace now. I feel like people, and everyone here does, but take us back to that moment that you were at the Nova Music Festival, if you can, and when you knew that something serious was wrong.
We drove
at the 232 intersection, sliding to the north and trying to get back home. There was a white Toyota that made some kind of a checkpoint and started mass shooting the cars that approaching them. And at that time, we did our way back. We tried to do a U-turn. We hit another car, and we kept driving. Both ways were shut down, both the entrance from Be'eri, the other side, and the north. So we head back to the parking lot. And in that parking lot, we were driving so slowly, it felt like ages. And from the anxiousness, I had nothing else to do but to sit down and think to myself what's going on. And from anxiousness, I believe that every woman can relate. I gotta pee. That's just how it is. So
you haven't had a child yet, though, have you?
No.
But it gets
Not
worse.
yet.
It gets worse.
Not yet. But when I understood that there is no other chance besides stepping out of the car and go find a place to pee, I tried to find myself a spot, and then a few terrorists spotted me from the uphill that was next to me and started shooting at us. We started driving with a car, trying to do it as fast as we can. We tried to drive through the potato field, but the car got stuck, and they kept shooting. So that was this moment when we had to understand that we need to take our legs and just start running. This kind of a surreal image of what happened is still in me. I feel like I see it from above and not inside my body. I felt like my soul was torn because I was frightened, and I knew that I don't want to die, and I was running foot by foot, trying to find out how to manage. But at the same time, I knew that I'm not going to die, and I knew that I have a long way ahead of me. We were walking for 19 kilometers up until Patish, and after coming back home, I faced a different kind of battle, which is the battle of grief. At 6 p.m., I came back home to my sister's warm embrace, telling me that my stepbrother is missing. After 3 days, they informed that he's dead, and it took 10 days to bury his body. And by this time, I couldn't grasp anything around me. I couldn't feel relieved for the life I got back, and I couldn't feel like I am fully mourning and feeling and understanding the loss that I've got at the same day.
We see so many examples, not just up here on the stage, but you actually have to be resilient to be Israeli, to be Jewish. It's a prerequisite. You were the first deaf person to be in the Knesset. What was that experience like for you, and what was challenging about that? What was the hardest part of that? And all these women's stories are so different, but it's the same theme. It's that strength, it's that resilience, it's that pushing through barriers.
For me, after all my life, people tell me, surely you cannot do nothing, you are deaf, you will never succeed, you should never try. It's not that I am... a lot of people tell me, you're not good enough just because you're deaf. And then I realized that I get in this Medal of Honor because I work really hard. I believe myself, and I give for myself. It means that every person with disability, every person around the world can succeed. There's no reason it's not. We can do everything in a hard work. We can do a big thing. Thank you. So this is the moment that I change my point of view of life, and I say, okay, since here, I don't know how, I don't know where I will do it, but I want to change the future for every person in Israel. I don't want that my future children, the new generation, will through what I've been through. I want to make Israel better. I want to change the future for people with disability in Israel. It's not where I will be, I will do it.
People in the crowd who are doing, so this is clapping, is it? Can everyone, let's clap, let's do this. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for all the work you do. That is an amazing contribution you are making. Mikhail, you, I think end of last year, became the mayor of the region that was most badly affected on October 7. You would see firsthand the trauma that exists, and I have no doubt will exist for a very long time to come. How do you rebuild?
It's a huge challenge. I knew what I'm getting into. And I was wondering for a while if I'm up to it. In such times when such atrocities are happening, suddenly all the stupid things in life get proportions. Suddenly just being alive matters. I remember the first few days when I went to visit people in the hotels, just hugging people and saying, oh my gosh, you are alive. Not thinking about diet, not thinking about shopping or vacation, just we are alive, and it means a lot. It's not easy because Eshkol is a very gentle tapestry, human tapestry. So having such a huge loss, also many, many people that were murdered, including children, including complete families that were and suddenly they are gone. Elderly people, and it was tough, it was sadism, it was cruel. It wasn't a family that were killed in a car accident, or it was human beings that did it, and human beings that were our neighbors and we didn't see it, and half of the hostages are from our community, and yet, if you fall into victimhood and self-pityness and anger, you cannot reach anything. And the most important thing was just to believe that we can do it. For me, in the shelter, the moments of understanding the sizes of what is happening to us, for me, I got a lot of strength from thinking about the Holocaust. And I said to myself, Michal, after the Holocaust, we build a country. And this is not the Holocaust. It's a day that feels like a Holocaust, but I knew, just like what Shelley said, I knew that we will grow out of this devastation. But there are no shortcuts. It's a long journey of grieving and feeling the pain, and yet choosing life.
We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. One seed in the ground is enough to grow a garden. Put in work and watch, it'll turn into a forest. Our roots in the land give us a home, a haven. Circles of light that bring us all together. It's like painting a never-ending picture, not in black and white, in neon blazing colors. It's like driving on a never-ending road. The more you hit the gas, the more you gotta go. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. We can play it safe, or we can lead the way. Yeah, we can lead the way today. Yeah, we can lead the way today. We can lead the way. 2 cents in a jar is enough to change a million. We have our car.
International Fund USA has always been there with a strategic vision for a stronger, more resilient Israel and Zionist engagement. Now, more than ever, this vision is crucial. Every donation, every commitment makes a difference. We need your help to make our circles of impact wider and wider. Stand with us, support us, and together we will continue to build a brighter future for the land and people of Israel.
What does your community need? What can all of us do to assist, to help, to support, to comfort?
It's very painful to be history itself. Some people used to ask me in the beginning, did you see in the news? And I said, no, I don't watch the news, I am the news. So it's not easy to be the news in such historic time, but it gives us also an opportunity to be the one who writes history ourselves. And this is what we are doing. We are doing it in Eshkol, we are doing it in Israel, and we are doing it here, around the world. We need you to help us to continue to remember what happened to us. It's a commandment in the Jewish people to remember, but to choose life at the same time. I can open a list of what we need.
I mean, we don't want to get too
important.
specific.
We need to remind ourselves that where do we want to go? And we need to remind ourselves that we have all the capability to reach it and that we are not alone on this journey. Look around, and I wish my community was here in this room with you just to feel the vibe and the energy, and we are not alone, and we will achieve it. There is no, we believe in it with a radical hope that no matter what, we will get, to look on the young people, to see the younger generation, and we have a bright future ahead of us.
Something I've learned about your community, if one of you suffers, all of you suffer. So I would love you incredible women to give our audience in, say, 30 seconds to 45 seconds, you can tell my background's television, the greatest piece of advice you can think of, or words that they can call on when they are struggling in their battle, which is different to your battle, but just as important.
Every time I have something that I came upon or I have to face in front of, I'm trying to rewrite the narrative in a way that is compassionate and that is okay with myself, from a place that is more calm and helping me to push forward. Because if I will use the wrong words towards myself, this is how my entire life is going to look like.
It's up to us. So snap out of it. If you got if you have the guts, run for it. I promise that we will be next to you to support it.
I want to say to all of you, you are part of us. I will say you are our soldiers of Eretz Israel outside, and we couldn't do it without you and without your help. So I salute you. Thank you very much.
Take your notebook, your phone, your paper, everything that you have. Take a pen and write it in that simple way. What do you want to achieve? What the things that you need to do for doing that? And start to do that.
Our final two speakers will fire you up. First, we'll be joined by Phoebe Nisanoff, who is currently a freshman at the University of Florida. And for those of you who didn't know, Phoebe is also an alumna of Alexander Muss High School in Israel. Joining Phoebe on stage will be the indomitable Douglas Murray. He is not only a best-selling author, award-winning journalist, and fearless commentator, he is one of the great champions of the Jewish people and the State of Israel.
Thank you, Jeff. It is surreal to be on this stage and with all of you. Thank you. As Jeff said, I'm a student at the University of Florida, but I'm also an alumna of the Alexander Muss High School in Israel. So where are my Muss people at? Muss is the reason that I defend my people and my homeland with immense confidence and pride. But enough about me and Muss. It is a profound honor to welcome to the stage a hero to many in this room, Douglas Murray. Douglas, welcome. Before we dive in, I just need to ask you, how are you, and how is it being here among so many admirers and supporters?
It's a wonderful opportunity, among other things, I think, for us to have not just a look back, but a look forward, because so many remarkable things have happened in recent days and weeks, and there's a lot of good we can do.
Read your article, The War Israel Won and the One the West is Losing. Can you unpack how both of those things can be true at the same time and what the West must do moving forward in order to succeed?
The point I made in that article in the Free Press was that if you just look at the military situation in the Middle East, imagine going back to the perverted mind of Yahya Sinwar on October the 6th, 2023. Now, obviously, Sinwar was a psychopath, so he didn't think like normal people, but imagine if he had known that within 2 years of the atrocity that he started, Hamas would be decimated in Gaza, that he and every one of his top lieutenants would be dead, that Hezbollah, the entity that the Iranian revolutionary government thought of as a kind of Lamborghini in the region, you know, their absolute prized possession, would be destroyed in wave after wave of the most targeted attacks in military history, that the Houthis in Yemen would be struck time and again, and that in the final indignity for him and those who support him, the Israeli Air Force and then the American, the US Air Force, would be able to fly over the skies of Iran with total impunity and bomb the Iranian nuclear reactors. To bomb the nuclear reactors that Prime Minister Netanyahu and so many other political leaders in Israel and outside of Israel have warned for a generation would be the generation's main existential threat. All of this came as a result of the atrocities that Sinwar and his friends started on the 7th of October. And every single one of these things followed. Now, the issue of at home, well, that's a very tricky one. Why, when Yahya Sinwar is killed, are there students at Princeton in the main quad chanting glory to our martyrs? What is our doing there? What is our doing there? These are not America's martyrs. They're not any Princeton I know's martyrs. What is it that should have happened, that we would have come to expect, that on the anniversaries of October the 7th, and the 2 years there have been anniversaries, they would be dominated by news, not of large demonstrations across American and Canadian and British and French and other cities against the rapists and killers and kidnappers of Hamas, but in support of them. There are many things to say about this, but perhaps I can put it in brief. This is like one of those internet memes, which direction, Western man? You know, you're at a point where there are two paths. One of the paths that some people in the West, let's not depress ourselves, they're a minority, but like a lot of very fanatical minorities, they're very noisy. They have decided that they will go through the path that admires the death cults, that admires the rapists and the murderers and the kidnappers, that believes that these people speak to them and that they're the voice of justice and indeed social justice around the world, including in America. I always say, among other things, these people are obviously slow learners because they might notice that all of the people they admire are now dead, but the real question is, what is the other path? What is the path which people could, and in my view, should be going down? And that, among other things, and this is why, tragically for Israel, but nevertheless, this is the burden, Israel is at the forefront of this civilizational issue. The other path is that young people and old, but mainly young people, have to work out whether there isn't another path, and that the other path should be not denigrating, for instance, the remarkable young men and women of the IDF, but emulating them. Imagine if we in America and in the West managed to create a generation like the generation that Israel produced from the morning of the 7th of October. Imagine if our societies were based not on grievance culture and victim Olympics and all that sort of thing, but on heroism and love of country and love of culture and knowing what you want to defend and defending it.
You brought up college campuses, and as a college student, I've seen anti-Semitism play out firsthand. You stand by the statement, what starts with the Jews never ends with them, and in the wake of October 7th, we've seen this unfold rapidly on our streets and campuses. For those that feel that this isn't their fight, how do you explain that the forces that fuel anti-Semitism are the same ones that will eventually turn against their own freedoms and values?
Every Western country I go to, I say, let me try the following test on you. If there is a pro-Israel demonstration, which of course there have been in all these countries, Jews and non-Jews, you will notice something. You will notice that they are dominated by people flying the flag of the State of Israel and the flag of the country they're in. So a pro-Israel protest in New York will have people flying the American flag and the Israeli flag. I was in Canada about a year into the war, and I was speaking, I think, in Toronto, and we not only were there Canadian flags, it was a meeting of Christians for Israel, Jewish people for Israel, and others. They were flying of Canadian flags and of Israeli flags, and at the end of the evening, we sang Hatikva, and we sang O Canada, and I had to pretend to know the words. But here's the point. If it's an anti-Israel protest in any of these countries, you may see the Palestinian flag, you may see the Hamas flag or the Hezbollah flag or the flag of the Iranian Revolutionary Government, or you might see one of these deluded people with, like, you know, the obvious, the joke's too easy, but you can fill it in yourself, the kind of trans for Gaza types. You might see people flying all of these flags. What you will never see them do is flying the flag of the country they're in. Never. In fact, if there is an American flag at an anti-Israel protest in America, it is only there in order to be burned. Okay, fastest way I can do it. That's the fastest way I can do it. That is the pattern, and it holds 100% of the time. In London, when there is an anti-Israel march, it wouldn't occur to the marchers to finish with the singing of God Save the King. Wouldn't occur to them. Of course they wouldn't. Why would they? They hate Israel, but they hate the country they're in as well. That's what the West has to wake up to.
So you make such insightful comments, but I think most of us are curious on how you actually came to this position. I mean, we know you as one of the most steadfast and eloquent non-Jewish defenders of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. We know what you believe, but I think the deeper question for many of us is why. Can you walk us through the journey that led you to realize that this isn't just a Jewish issue, but rather one that impacts all of Western civilization?
I can, reluctantly, I have to say, because like most people from England, I don't like talking about myself and find it vaguely embarrassing, like taking your clothes off in public, you know. But, I mean, I have been asked that, or versions of that question quite a lot in recent years. And I suppose I'd just say, first of all, there's something sad about the need to ask the question, by which I mean when Jewish friends and Israeli friends and others say, but I don't understand, like, how come you're on our side? I say, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? And I think that's a much healthier way to think of it. You know, why would you like us? Is the sort of undertone of it. I've never found it difficult. I mean, in a fight between a democracy and a death cult, between a society that loves life and a society that worships death, I don't find it hard to choose. And you know, of course, it's clear that a lot of people in our time do. I think that's sometimes because they're profoundly wicked people, and often because they're profoundly ill-educated, which we could probably come to. Literally, just one of the things I've particularly realized in recent years is a lot of people who are supportive of Israel think that we can come up with the perfect argument that, as it were, will make the other side understand our position, you know. And I meet a lot of brilliant, you know, people in the very fortunate life I have, and very often they'll say, there's this document that shows this, and in 1964, and what the other side don't realize is that in 1973, and I say, you know, most of the other side don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you're talking about. You can mention the Oslo process, they don't know where Oslo is. They've never heard of it. What's this process he talks about? They've got their very strange thing. All I would say about myself is I've never found it difficult. I was brought up by good parents, very fortunate, and they taught me right from wrong. And I grew up in a, you know, Anglican Christian household, and I suppose I found an intellectual way to the positions that I hold, and, you know, I can explain some of that, but in a way it doesn't quite explain it, because sometimes an issue can be of the brain, and that's it. But also sometimes an issue becomes an issue of the heart. And for me, for many years, the cause of the Israeli nation and also the Jewish people has been one that has been close to my heart. And, you know, I mentioned to somebody earlier, but when I first went to Israel some quarter of a century or so ago now, you know, I'd be asked by those charming people in El Al's security checkpoints, why would you laugh at that? I would be asked by those charmers, you know, why you come to Israel? Why you you know anyone here? You're Jewish? No, not Jewish. You have friends in Israel? By the way, I've got to tell you one of my favorite ones I mentioned earlier. I once opened a skateboarding park for the JNF in the town of Sderot about 15 years ago. Some of you will know. And I have no expertise in the opening of skateboarding parks. I don't know why it fell to me, but it was my honor. And we spent a wonderful day with the families there. And I remember they gave me one of these what they called rockets into roses. You probably all know about this by now. But it was one of the first ones of this. It was a large thing that had my name on the base, and it's a Katusha rocket that had been fashioned into a rose like this. I get to El Al security at the end of my trip. I say this was not a common gift at the time. I get there, they say, anyone give you anything while you're in Israel? I say, but is this... Every single El Al security person ended up gathering around the bag. What is this? They scanned it, they swabbed it, and eventually this big guy, he goes, okay, Douglas, apart from Katusha rocket, anyone give you anything in Israel? But I mention this only to say that by now, traveling there for many years and spending much of the last 2 years there, whenever I get to El Al security, they say, do you have family in Israel? I say, tons of them.
עם ישראל חי,
can do now, I would say several things. One is, I beg people not to return to the position that Israel and supporters of Israel were in before the 7th of October. A friend of mine said a couple of months into the war, a friend of mine in Tel Aviv said, Hamas were idiots. If they'd have waited another year, we would have all killed each other. But just think of the state of Israeli society in the year before the 7th, the fights over judicial reform and so on. There is something in hindsight, I say this with great care, but something almost biblical, that the Jewish nation was tearing itself apart and then was reminded of the insanity of doing that. There have been so many times throughout history when similar things have happened. And I really hope that we all are able to keep in mind, particularly the people of Israel, to keep in mind what has been achieved and what is truly important, and not to war on each other, and not to pull, if I may say so, ourselves apart, and to remain focused, and to remember that there are external threats which should sharpen the mind. Secondly, I would say, I just read Eli Sharabi's magnificent memoir. And I couldn't put it, I read it in one go. And there's a story in there, which those of you who've read it will know, that in the tunnels underneath Gaza, Eli and the person he's been imprisoned with are put in the same tunnel as 3 young people who'd been kidnapped from the Nova Party. And after some time of this, one of the young men of the 3 says to one of the others, he says, tell them the sentence. Tell them the sentence. And this young man, 22, when he was kidnapped, says to Eli Sharabi and the other man he's with, he says, he who has any why can bear any how. Now that, Sharabi's memoir is so well written that it doesn't need to be explicated, but that, as many of you will know, is a line from Viktor Frankl's great masterpiece of the Second World War, Man's Search for Meaning. Here's something very, very powerful we should keep in mind. Just think that this one sentence that this young man had heard at some point in his upbringing was something he could pass on hundreds of meters under Gaza to other Jews, and it would help keep them going. If you have a well-furnished, well-stocked mind, and you've been brought up well in your faith, you can survive anything, and you can help others to survive too. And so that, I suppose, is the positive from it. I really hope, that you and your generation do not feel that you have to go to university and be warriors. Because you know what? You should be using your university days to make friends, to sometimes go out to bars, maybe to study, that would be good. But you should be using the years, which are so magnificent to be gifted between childhood and adulthood. You should be using them to flourish, not to feel like you're beleaguered or having to wade through hateful people. So if you do have to be warriors part-time, be happy warriors. I'm very fond of a poem by my fellow countryman W.H. Auden, who in 1939, on the outbreak of war, wrote a poem called September the 1st, 1939. He was sitting in a bar on 52nd Street in New York, and he reflects on the degraded, he says, the low, dishonest decade that he's just lived through. But even then, looking out at the world, he says, everywhere, ironic points of light shine out, wherever the just convene. And looking at the evil, he says, may I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame. I think our job should be to show an affirming flame and encourage the world and the good and just people all around the world to gather around that flame and to encourage it and to nurture it for millennia to come.
I'm not going to close this conference without telling you that all that happened, I did. But I want to tell you who really did it, and I want to have Dina stand up, Jody, Steph and Gary, Ross, Miriam, Jason, Carla, Natalie, Limor, my C-suite, my national, all my professionals stand up. My friends, we are part of an unbroken chain of history, a people who have endured, who thrived against all odds, a people who dreamed of returning to our ancestral soil, and then we made it happen. As individuals, as people, as a nation, we all deserve to write our own future. But even the most beautiful dreams, the greatest visions, are imperfect in their reality. We must always be a work in progress. That's the challenge and the beauty of who we are. Because the pride requires courage. The courage to face the future head on. The courage to keep writing our story no matter what. Yes, we must honor the past, but we must build tomorrow. We are here in this room because others did that before us. They gave us their promise, their encouragement, their lives. They gave us their values, their dreams. They had pain, they had joy, but they had pride. They gave money, hard work, but a love for our people and for our land. So when you leave this conference, if you leave with only one thought, let it be this: it is within your hands. It is within your ability to bring others along. It is within your courage and your commitment to make tomorrow better than today, and to bring 1 million voices to the Jewish National Fund. Our story is not finished. It is just beginning. And there is no time to be tired. There is no time to rest. Yes, it has been a tough 2 years. It's been a tough 3,500 years. But what a great past and a greater tomorrow if we do it together. So allow me to be bold to offer what I believe is the beginning of the writing of the next chapter. First, we cannot be defined. We cannot allow us to be defined by acts of terror, but we will only be defined by our acts of strength. October 7th and the war that followed left very deep scars. But I was there on that day with Marcy. I've been back to Israel almost every 3 weeks for the past 2 years. I have traveled through the United States. I've met our teenagers, I've met our donors, I met our friends. And I am telling you, I felt I was part of this resilience and this unbelievable renewed commitment. So you have to go and go to Israel. You have to meet the people. It's essential. It deepens our understanding. It strengthens our hearts. It gives us the power to tell our story to others with emotion, with pride, and with truth. Third, we got to get more teenagers to Israel. There's no more powerful connection to our land, to our heritage, to our future. And we already have the answer. I don't know if you know it, Alexander Muss High School in Israel. We can bring more teenagers and give them the answers they seek during those critical years that they're questioning, to find strength and identity and purpose in being part of our Jewish people and of our story. Fourth, we have to revitalize our Hebrew education, our congregational schools where most of our kids are going. We must bring Zionism alive. Not just the story of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what? I want the story of Yael, of Michal, of Yoel, of all of the Israelis that are here in this room. That is the real story of Israel. That's the story that we have to tell. And fifth, we have to be proud. And yes, I'm telling you now, there'll be very tough challenges with that in the workplace and in the classrooms. Yet Jewish pride and pride in Israel means standing for those great values, for honesty, for respect, for democratic principles. And in those moments, I want you to remember this. Look around. Look around. You're not alone. You're not alone. And finally, remember that we aren't perfect. Show me one person or one nation that is. But we don't need to be perfect. We simply have to be better today than we were yesterday and better tomorrow. To make continuous progress. I'm surrounded by great people, by great family, by friends, by colleagues, who all just want to be better today than they were yesterday and better tomorrow. And that thriving for that defines our greatness. That thriving, that defines us. That defines Zionism. That is Israel, and that is the Jewish National Fund. We must lead. And leadership, it's not easy. It can be very lonely. It can be painful. But I'm telling you that the difference of our success and our failure depends on you, leadership. Leadership fills the world with good, and it doesn't allow evil to even take one step. So, my friends, lead. Lead with courage. Lead with pride. Lead with compassion. Lead with giving. Lead with understanding. Lead with Zionism. And tell our story. And then tell it again. Because our story is being written. And the next chapter is ours to write.
השם הוא אבא טוב והוא תמיד מתפאר בי, רואה בי רק את הנקודות הטובות. רואה שאני רוצה להיות טוב רק לא יוצא לי, וחסרות לי כולה כמה תפילות.
והשם הוא גם ראה את הרצון שהיה לי, שניסיתי לא אמרתי נואש. רואה בביזיון שלי במה שהרגשתי, איך התחלתי שוב כל יום מחדש. והשם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב, ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב.
שומע מרחם עליי ותמיד עונה לי, ואם עדיין לא ממשיך לחכות, מלא אותי בזה שאתה תמיד אוהבתי, תיתן לי כל יום מחדש מתנות,
ותנהיג אותי ברחמים כאלו כמו שבעולם הזה נקרא רחמים. שירו כולם שכן אתה שומע תפילות, ונחייך נהיה בריאים ונשיר.
שהשם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב, ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. ותהיה לי פרנסה, תהיה לי עשירות, ורווקים ורווקות תהיה להם זיווג, תהיה גם רפואה שלמה ובריאות איתנה, חיים יפים מאושרים שנה אחרי שנה.
השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב.
השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב, ויהיה לי עוד יותר טוב ועוד 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 יותר טוב, ותמיד יהיה לי
יבוא
רק
שלום
טוב.
עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם 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 עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם סלאם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם 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 עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם סלאם. יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה את האור שבשמיים, יחד לב אל לב נפתח בתקווה לאהבה.
איך שהלב נפתח חובק את העולם, ובקריאה גדולה לשיר אהבה. One seed in the ground is enough to grow a garden. Put in work and watch, it'll turn into a forest. Our roots in the land give us a home, a haven. Circles of light that bring us all together. black and white, in neon blazing colors. It's like driving on a never-ending road. The more you hit the gas, the more you gotta go. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. We can play it safe, or we can lead the way. Yeah, we can lead the way. We can make a change. Nothing's in our way. Nothing's in our way. We can make a change, and we can lead the way. Yeah, we can lead the way.
Jewish National Fund USA has always been there with a strategic vision for a stronger, more resilient Israel and Zionist engagement. Now, more than ever, this vision is crucial. Every donation, every commitment makes a difference. We need your help to make our circles of impact wider and wider. Stand with us, support us, and together we will continue to build a brighter future for the land and people of Israel.